back talking about Severance, and it's the subject today is, of course, season 2, episode 1, which I should have done a couple of days ago. Sorry. Um, and I'm just gonna make commentary off of my notes and observations and hypotheticals, and I have some questions, of course. I'm not attached to the show in any way, and I'm not getting paid to do this, though I wish I was. And this may be all over the place because I have a scrambled egg brain. So here we go. When Mark first wakes up in the building, he appears to be looking for Gemma, and he finds that Wellness is no longer there. And not only is Wellness not there at the doors, there are, what's the word? I can't think of it. The doors are just gone, though. They're filled in. And while he's standing there facing the missing doors, there you can see a guy behind him who is kind of fuzzy. You can't really make him out. He's wearing a blue suit and he appears to be walking into one of the rooms. I suspect that guy was in the control room when Dylan was on OTC. Next, Miss Wang. I am fairly certain that she's there to unnerve Mark, among other things. So, having a literal child as your manager speaks volumes. It says, you are not responsible enough as adults that we could entrust a child to manage you. That's bad. That's bad. I hate that Milchek threw Harmony under the bus and called her a sadist as if he wasn't just as bad. Come on, dude. Stop it. Just stop it. My favorite thing, of course, is the heavily redacted newspaper. It's giving real fake for a number of reasons, and I'm gonna give you plenty. Kier P is listed as the place on the paper, which is a normal thing to do. It lists the volume number, which is 51,903, and the first publishing year as 1893. All information that this part is unusual. Under the circumstances, Mark wouldn't be privy to at all in any way. Because let's face it, if he asked what state he had been born in, they wouldn't tell him. They wouldn't tell him. If he asked them any information about the outside world, they would not tell him. So this is super duper sus that they would show him that Milchek would show him this paper. And I don't know if I already said this or not, but it would appear that Mark is according to the paper, in the year 2035. The K in the masthead appears to be lowercase for whatever reason. And because I'm a dork and I wrote down like the dates for the CEOs. According to the paper, that would mean that James has been the CEO for 32 years. In the article itself, it mentions reforms and like the things that they would be doing, the benefits that the severed would be getting, was stuff that would satisfy only a kindergartner anyway. And the idea that they would put that in a paper to satisfy the masses or the public is just insane to me. Excuse me. I find it odd in the image that all the cars in the image are up here to be from the 1950s and before. And In the Audi world, the cars appear to be mostly made between 1965 and 1995. So that seems strange. Everyone in the image, they're wearing a suit. The image is black and white, and the four are touted as heroes. And I can't see any reason that Milchick would ever even suggest that the four were seen as heroes by anyone. It's not adding up. I'm certain that Milchick's lying about the passage of 5 months. And this is why. Cobalt's name is still on his computer. And at some point he calls IT and he's clearly frustrated, but that's not all. No, that's not all. The floor is littered with boxes with files in them. And there's plastic wrap and bubble wrap on some of the items in the office, which means that you're still in the move-in process into the office. So I don't buy that he's been not working for 5 full months. It's probably been a weekend. And like, there's no way for Mark to know otherwise. So he can tell him anything he wants. It's odd that everyone seems to understand the unnamed new MDR guy beyond Pidgin sign language, even though he appears to be speaking Italian. So I found that odd. I'm annoyed that Gwendolyn or Gwen or whatever her name is, acts as if Mark, when he was on the outside, should have been interested in the same things she and her coworkers were interested in. Why would he? You never spoke to him before. You just met this guy. Why would you expect him to focus on things that you are interested in? She didn't ask him why. She didn't even ask him why they escaped. That would be really important to understand what he focused on once he was outside. So yeah, if she stays as a character, I don't think I'm gonna like her. I think I'm gonna like her less and less as time goes on. Let's see. According to that new group and the video that Milchick showed the original 4, there are more offices. I think the count was like 328 or 332, something like that. I'm willing to believe that. I mean, it's sad that I guess 13, but I'm willing to believe that there's over 300. And I also find it odd that Mark W. knew his branch number, because he said his branch number was 5X. And then in the video, the original 4 were told about that their building number was, their branch number was 501, which as far as anybody, as far as old storyline, they didn't know that there were other branches. And even though everything in the video was exaggerated, I have a strong feeling that at some point, Dylan is going to question if the kiss really happened and why. It'll be Dylan, not Irving, Dylan. I think it's funny that not long after Milchick insisted that the rest of the crew left the company, that it was proven wrong. Let's see. I was suspecting that the company used freeze frame on everybody, maybe. I don't know. When the OTC got shut off. Because Bert was still screaming, Irving was still screaming for Bert in the elevator and knocking on the elevator door. Well, who knows? And hopefully some of those different things will get explained as we go. I'm certain that Milchick was lying about there being no cameras and no microphones because it's Lumen. Come on. I wish I'd mentioned it earlier, but I knew Helly was going to lie about who she was on the outside, because at the very least she would, if she told the truth, especially with Dylan around, if she told the truth, she would always be seen as a possible mole, or as if she was faking being severed and that she's not really one of them, because you're not one of us, really. You're more in alignment with Cobell and Milchick. You don't belong with us. She would be on the outs. I love how Mark is growing a pair, which is exemplified in first when he demanded to speak to his team personally, because he wasn't going to believe Milchick when he said that the rest of them left. Like, how am I back here and everybody? Everybody. No. And also when he demanded to have them back after he got caught behind the note that he wrote, which that note was hilarious. Let's be real, it was hilarious. And then he used a little quick thinking and tricked Milchick into running in there while he ran in the other direction and bolted through the halls to get to the board speaker. And if nothing else, doing that was to like find some kind of improvement in his life. And he may have believed Milchick about the 5-month thing and maybe was a little cautious about his outie. Just think about it. If his outie came back after have 5 months to think about it and dropped him back there, is he really the kind of guy you want to be, kind of thing, you know? So, and he might have believed the paper too. So hopefully we'll find all that out as we go. Let's see. The Macrodat uprising, goodness gracious. And now there's a new creepy painting, which curiously did not appear on the wall until after everybody was coming back. And curiously has 4 people depicted as being up to their necks in sand. And sorta, kinda looks like the 4 main characters. And its name, Kier pardons his betrayers, yet the sword in his hand is dripping with blood. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's supposed to have sort of the same impact as the 266 was supposed to have, and was supposed to make them fearful of trying to escape again, really. Even though they are depicted as heroes in the video and in the newspaper, it ain't sitting right. And lastly, I thought it was cute that Dylan didn't want to leave, but equally selfish, but cute, that he turned into a mush just a little bit for like 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds he turned into a mush and didn't want Irving to leave. And it actually looked like they both were going to cry. So we'll see what happens. And I think when it comes to Helly lying about what she saw, I think she's going to slowly but surely spill her guts. Because even Irving noticed, and this is something that Dylan or Mark would have noticed first. Even Irving was like, a night gardener? You saw a night gardener? Yeah. Mm-mm. And mm-mm. I think she's going to fess up at some point, and probably on accident.